A lesser known fact about the American Civil War is just how flat broke most of the planter class was leading up to the war's beginning. Kate Larson's Bound for the Promised Land, a biography of Harriet Tubman, gives us a peek into a planter culture that is falling apart at the seams. And the example shown is Harriet Tubman's plantation before she escaped. Her original owner was seen as a sort of genteel, modern planter. He wasn't particularly abusive. He wasn't particularly cruel. And then he dies. And when he dies, his children inherit not only his property and his slaves, but the mountain of debt he has built up. He was a vociferous drinker and gambler, and his kids are reeling about how to pay the immense amount of money he owes the other people in the community from just simply being bad at poker and making some bad investments. Tubman's example only shows the one plantation from close up, and so I recommend another book to see this in full. I've covered this book before, but it is Fall of the House of Dixie by Bruce Levine. And Fall of the House of Dixie tracks planter life and planter culture through the later stages of the Civil War. That as the Southern aristocracy is falling apart at the seams, as the Southern project of the Confederacy is collapsing around them, they are reeling with the realities of a new life that is only moments away. And what we're seeing in all of this is the secret reality that the planters have been desperately trying to hide throughout their time of wealth and prestige. They're broke. They've had nothing to do for decades. They've inherited their wealth from their parents. All of their wealth is stored in human property or on the plantations worked by that human property. They drink and gamble and throw lavish parties. The only sort of show of any sort of status that they have is flaunting their wealth at one another. And they rack up incredible debts to manage this wealth presentation lifestyle with the reality underneath it that they don't have any practical skills. They're farmers, but all the farming is done by other people. They have massive accounts to manage, but that accounting work is done by someone they've hired, not by them on their own. And so what do they do with their day? Well, they drink. They drink really heavily. They play cards with each other. They put on lavish parties. They go shopping for the most obscene of the latest fashions, the nicest pearls, the biggest rings. They sit on their front porch drinking mint juleps and watching other people make wealth for them. It's no wonder then that the fear of losing their human property is one that hits so close to home. Because if they lose their human property, then the dark reality will crash in on them all at once. That they'll have to work for a living.